Let us stand for a short prayer. President of the class, please lead the prayer. Okay, good morning, class. Now, before you take your seat, I want you to pick up piece of papers under your chairs and please align your chairs properly. Okay, you may now take your seat. Now, who's the secretary of the class? Do we have an absences for today? Okay, none. Very good. Now, before we begin with our new lesson, I will group you first into two and try answering the following problems of posting in here and show your answer using the show me board that I provided you last week. Now, here's the mechanics. Each group will create a yell to be performed before answering the questions raised. Now, the group that will earn the high score will earn additional 10 points for the recitation, while the other group will have 5 points. Now, here's the problem. Angelo invited his close friends, Renee, Lloyd, and Burks, to his 16th birthday, which will be held at Pavilion Sabang Park. He prepared a special table with chairs placed in a row to be occupied by his 3 friends. Number 1, list all possible seating arrangement. Number 2, in how many ways they can be seated in a row. And number 3, show another way of finding the answer in number 1. Your 5 minutes starts now. Okay, it seems that everybody's already finished. Now, group 1, start with the yell. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, words up. Show your answer. Okay, group 2. Your turn. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, words up. Okay. Now, we'll be checking your answers later as we proceed with our new lesson. Now, the second problem, question rather. In how many ways can they be seated in a row? Group 1, start with the yell. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's proceed to number 3. Show another way of finding the answer in item number 1. Group 1? How about group 2? Okay, now please return to your seats now. Now, from our group activity earlier, you were asked to list down all the possible seating arrangement, right? And by counting all these listed possible seating arrangement, you came up with the answer 6. Now, why do you think we still need to list down all this arrangement? Okay, Angela? Okay, according to Angela, we have to list down the possible arrangement so that none of the possible outcomes is missed out. Now, aside from listing, has any one of you used another way of determining the total number of arrangement? Okay, none. Now, here's the lesson objectives for today. Kindly delete number 1. Okay, permutation. So, ano nga ba talaga yung permutation? May kinalaman nga ba talaga ito sa group activity namin kanina? Okay, number 2. Kindly read. Okay, list down. Why do we have to list down these possible ways a certain task can be done? And number 3, kindly read. So, where permutations that applies in day-to-day activity in life. Now, permutation, can you read? Okay, it is about the arrangement or orders. Now, from the problem you answered from the item number 2 earlier, you were asked how many possible arrangement can these 3 friends of Angelo be seated in a row. Now, you answered 6. Now, 6 is what we call permutation. Okay? So, there are 2 types of permutation. So, let me show you first 2 different arrangements. First, let's say a circle, square, and a triangle. This is the first arrangement. And the other arrangement is written in this form. Now, what do you observe from these two arrangements? Okay, Eunice? Okay, according to Eunice, these geometric figures are positioned in a row, in one line. However, these three objects are forming a circular formation. Now, there are two types of permutation. The first one is linear permutation. Now, can you read? Okay, it is a line. Arrangement that is placed in a row or in a line. So, meaning to say, this arrangement is an example of linear permutation. Now, how about circular permutation? Okay, one person or object is fixed while the other is switching places. Now, from here, if this is the object that will not be switching places the others, the remaining two are the one to switch places. Now, that's what we call circular permutation. Another example, if there are 5 to sit in a circular table, and one from us will not be switching places, but instead, the 4 other persons. Okay, there are methods of determining permutation. The first one is systematic listing. Can you read? Okay, we're just listing down, but we are following a certain pattern or order. Now, here's the illustration of systematic listing if we're going to apply this to the problem you answered earlier. What do you observe from this method? Okay, it starts with Rene, then followed by Lloyd, then followed by Durst. And in the second arrangement, it is still starting with Rene. But the second and third sitters switch places. And the same pattern and order apply to the other arrangement. Any other question? Clarification? Okay, let's proceed. Now let's proceed to the second method. So the second method is tree diagram. Can you read? Okay, it is a hierarchy of tasks and subtasks. Now, here's the illustration of tree diagram if we're going to apply this to the problem earlier. Now, as you can see, there are 3 heads. Now, the first one is Rene, and then followed by Lloyd and Durst. Now, why do you think that diagram was formed into that formation? Arrangement rather. Okay, because for the first seat, there are 3 sitters for the first seat, for the first position. Either you select Rene, Lloyd, or Durst. But if you selected Rene, then you have the remaining 2 sitters. Either you select Lloyd or Durst for the second seat. And if it happened that you selected Lloyd for the second seat, then you'll have the remaining person Durst to sit for the last seat. You understand? Now, how do we determine the permutation by just referring to this illustration? Okay, very good. So, just count the last branches of the diagram. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is the answer. The same answer when we apply the systematic listing method. Okay? Let's proceed. So, the third method is fundamental counting. Anyway. Okay. It is a probability problem. It is applying operation of multiplication. Now, what are those numbers to be multiplied? Now, here's the step in fundamental counting. First, we write down 3 horizontal marks. Why 3? Why 3? Okay, because there are 3 seats. There are seat 3, allotted seats for these 3 persons. Paano naman pag 4 yung uupo, tapos 3 lang yung upuan? 3 pa rin ba ang horizontal marks? Okay, yes. Because we are just arranging 3 sitting positions. Now, So, why 3 to 1? Magtatanong kayo, bakit why 3 to 1? Because, on the first seat, we have 3 persons to select for the first seating position. Either you select Dirks, Lloyd, or Rene. But if you selected Dirks, then you will have the remaining persons, Rene or Lloyd, to sit for the second position. That's why 2. Okay? So, nabawasan na siyang isa kasi dalawa na lang ang tao hindi pa nakakaupo. Now, if you selected Rene to sit for the second seat, then you will have the remaining person, Lloyd, to sit for the last. Do you understand? Am I making myself clear? Okay, very good. Now, let's have another problem. How many three-letter methods, with or without meaning, can be formed out of the letters from the word sing when repetition of letters is not allowed? Now, for the first method, let's call this let's call this and for the second method, and for the third method, so each of you will be reciting arrangement, three-letter word from the letters that compose the word sing. Okay? Now, let's start with you, Angela. Okay. S-I-N. Next. Okay, S-N-I. Next. Okay. I-N-S. Next. I-S-N. Next. Okay. N-S-I. Next. N-I-S. Okay, next. G-S-I. Next. Okay. G-I-S. Okay, next. S-I-G. The next. S-G-I. Okay. I-G-S. Next. I-S-G. Okay, next. N-S-G. Next. N-G-S. Next. S-N-G. Next. S-G-N.
Next.
Okay, next. G-N-S. Next. G-S-N. Okay, next. Okay, start from you again. Okay. I-G-N. Next. I-N-G. Okay, next. N-G. G. So, meron pa ba? Okay, bilangin nga natin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So, let's check kung tama bang 22 lang talaga. So, yung sagot nyo dito, all in all, 22. Okay? How about in Filmia? If we're gonna apply the tree diagram. Now, I have here sets of letters and you are going to fill the empty diagram. One by one, we'll pick up this set of letters and complete the diagram. Okay, start with completing the diagram. In 3, 2, 1, all of you, pick up the get letters from here. Okay, let's check your answers. So, kindly observe the diagram. Tama ba? Now, let's proceed to tell me why. Now, how many horizontal marks are we going to write down? Lauren? 3. Okay, any other answer? Okay, Sheila? Okay. 3 also. Why 3? Because there are 3 letters that will be formed that we are going to use to form a certain arrangement of letters. Now, 3. By the way, in tree diagram, what is our permutation in here? By referring to the diagram that you made. Okay, count the last branches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, 24. But you answered 22 when you applied the systematic listing. How about in fundamental counting principle? Okay, what are the numbers to be multiplied? Okay, Rene? Okay, 3 and 4. Why 4? Because for the first position, there are 4 letters to select. How about for the next horizontal mark? How? 3. Okay, 3. Because on the first position, you selected 1 letter from the 4 letters. Now, when you selected 1 letter, nabawasan yung 4 na letters. That means there are only 3 choices to select for the second position. Now, either, say for example, S, I, N, G. Then you selected S for the first word, first position. Then you'll have the remaining I and G. Now, if you selected I, what will be the next number to write for the third horizontal mark? Okay, 2. Why 2? Okay, because there are 2 remaining letters. Now, what is our final answer? Okay, 24. Just multiply these 3 numbers. So, then you'll have the answer 24. That means there are 24 3-letter words that can be formed using the letters that compose the word sing. Now, meaning to say, you still lack 3-letter words, two 3-letter words from when you apply the systematic listing. Okay? Is everybody following? Do I make myself clear? Okay, let's proceed. Now, we'll be having a group activity. I will group you into 6. Column 1, group 1, column 2, group 2, column 3, group 3, column 4, group 4, column 5, group 5, column 6, group 6. Now choose your leaders and form a circle. Now, for group 1, you'll be using the method systematic listing. Group 2, tree diagram. Group 3, FCP or fundamental counting principle. Group 4, systematic listing also. Group 5, tree diagram, and group 6, FCP. Now, here's the rubrics for our group pointing system. Can you read? Okay, let's proceed. Now, I want to remind everybody every time we're having a group activity. I want to remind everybody of our rules. Now, first rule, remove unnecessary things on your desk. Only your ball pens, notebooks should be there. And number 2, cooperate to your group mates. And number 3, listen to the discussion of every group. Now, here's the problem. Okay, you may now start answering. Okay, seems that everybody's already finished. Group 1, go to the board and discuss your answer. Okay, your turn, group 2. Group 3. Group 4. Group 5. Okay. Since everybody has already finished with discussing their work, now let's check your answers. Now, for the first group applied the systematic listing method. Then, what is your answer? 24. Ay, 6 rather. Okay, very good. Now, group 2, tree diagram. Okay, 6 possible arrangement also. Group 3, fundamental counting principle. Okay, very good. Group 4. Okay, very good. Group 5. Okay. Group 6. Okay, very good. Now, before we proceed to our quiz, let us again recall what is linear permutation. Okay? What are the three methods of determining permutation? Okay, very good. Now, what is our clue to determine if this statement is an example of permutation? Okay, very good. Now, let's start with your quiz. Kindly bring out one more sheet of paper and your ball pen. Now, for test 1, read the following statement and identify if the statement is a permutation or not. Done with the first 5 items? Okay, next. Okay, done already. Now, test 2. Solve the following problems using the 3 methods of determining permutation. Now, for the first item, you'll be applying the method systematic listing. For the second item, tree diagram. Third item, FCP. Okay, done already. Okay, next. So, for the fourth item, systematic listing. 5, FCP. Then 6, tree diagram. Okay, done already. So, test 3, list down at least 5 activities in your day-to-day life where there is a need of determining permutation. Okay, done already.